folks, thanks for stopping in. Today I'm not going to be reviewing a gun. I'm going to be showing some drills that I use when I'm on the range. Not just when I'm on the range, but also when I'm teaching. I use these drills sometimes. They're not by any means all the drills that I use. Also, these drills, most of them, come from other people. They're drills that I've seen, that I've started to incorporate in my training. And there's only one drill in here. It's the one with the 3x5 card. I've seen some other instructors use something similar, but I don't know if it's exactly what I use. I kind of came up with that one as like a standards drill almost for students to shoot for. But anyway, sit back, relax. I hope you enjoy the video, and if some of these drills you think might be helpful, incorporate them into your training. If you don't like them, don't incorporate them. But anyway, thank y'all for watching and enjoy the drills. All right, the first drill I'm going to do is the 5x5 drill. Basically, I'm going to stand at 5 yards. I've got a 5-inch circle, and I'm going to shoot 5 rounds into it in under 5 seconds. I put a little twist on it. I call it the 10x10 drill because I shoot 10 rounds into the 5-inch circles at 5 yards in under 10 seconds. That means I got to do a reload. So it's not hard. It's pretty easy. I'm not trying to burn the house down when I'm doing this. This is just a warm-up drill. All right, so just keep that in mind. This is a warm-up drill. It was a 720 slow draw. Like I said, I'm not trying to burn the house down. This is just a warm-up drill. I'm gonna run. All right, you can see, obviously, all the targets are in, or all the shots are in target. I did it under time, and again, this is just a warm-up drill. And we'll speed up here just a little bit. The next drill I like to do is the Bear Solutions drill, all right? You're gonna shoot 5 rounds on the left target, 5 rounds on the right target. You're gonna reload and shoot 3 rounds in the middle. So what does this drill work? One, it teaches you to get out of the holster fast, get up on target. It teaches you recoil control because you're shooting 5 rounds off in a quick succession. Then it's teaching you to transition from one target to the next. So you're getting that transition work in there. Then it's practicing on reloads, and then it's teaching you to take those low percentage shots, all right, where you really have to slow down. It's easy to speed up, it's hard to slow down. So this drill starts out with really fast shooting and transitions over into your low percentage shots. This drill is done from either 3 or 7 yards. I do it from 3 yards. It's a standard I use. So we're gonna run this drill and see if we can get it a respectable time on it. Five, 8, 8. Let's look at that target and see what it looks like. All right, 5 on the left, 5 on the right. And remember, when you're running a red dot, depending on where you sight it in, you got a little bit of holdover. So I used a little bit of holdover here and got 3 rounds, basically in a clover leaf, 5, 8, 8. My first shot wasn't that great. It never is with a red dot. It's a 1.20. I could get that down to about a second. I'd be happy. Let's run this one more time. Now remember, I'm running this drill out of a Safari Land. It's not the level 3 holster, it's a level 2 holster. So it takes a little extra time to get it out, but it's not too bad. So let's run this thing again and see what we can do. I love this drill. This thing is so fun. 5.79. Cut my draw time to a 1.18, which isn't great. All right, 5, 5, and 3 in the middle. It's a really good drill to run. It's fun. I use this drill when I'm teaching classes, and it kind of builds a little bit of competitive flair in the class. So a lot of people like using that. I usually teach it towards the end of the class. But it's a really good drill from Bear Solutions. It ain't my drill, it's Bear Solutions. And it works on several different things all in one drill. And I'm a big proponent of teaching real world handgun tactics or handgun shooting. And in the real world, you're probably not going to be engaging threats from 25 and 50 yards. You're going to be engaging them from 10 yards and in. And a lot of times you're going to be surprised and you're going to have to engage them at really close distances. That's why I like this drill right here. Let's move on to the next one. All right, on this drill, what I'm going to do is single draw presentations or single round presentations from a holster. I'm just wanting to speed up my first round presentation. So this target is not a full size target. It's about a third size target, roughly, something like that, maybe half. But anyway, I still want to keep all my rounds in the A zone. I'm going to start out at a moderate pace and try to work myself up. I'm also going to do it at different distances. So let's get this started and see what we can do. 118. 111. 107. 999. I'm sorry, 99. 105. Bad. .94. Didn't have a good grip on the gun. Better. .94. 0.90. 0.89. 0.87. All right, you can see with the target, all of my rounds are in the A zone except for that one. I knew it when I did it. I pulled the trigger, shouldn't have, but I did it anyway. Everything else is in the A zone. All right, this one's from Gorilla Approach. It's a consistency drill. This is a really fun drill that I teach in classes as well. I also teach my one-round presentations in classes, but I use this one towards the end of the class as well. It's run from 3 yards. Let's see, it's at 3 yards, all right? It's 24 rounds. Each small circle gets 1 round. Each large circle gets 2 rounds. You'll have to have at least 1 mag change in this unless you're running some high capacity mags, but I try to make it to where the students at least have 1 mag change. So 1 round for the small circles, 2 rounds for the big circles. Let's run it and see how we can do it. Come on out of there, baby. Well, that sucked. The time was 17:88. I think the par time on this is 25 seconds. So I should have slowed down. You can see, like I said, my holdover with the red dots isn't the greatest. I was low, I brought it up, then I started coming along, then I dropped it down again and brought it back up. The 2s are fine, my holdover's sucking. I got it in there. You can tell my holdover is not on. In, cut the line. 2 shots, and then I missed it. So I know what I need to work on. I need to work on perfecting my holdover at these closer distances. So I'm gonna mark this target up and I'm gonna shoot it again. Let's run this drill again, see if I can improve on my holdover and that mag change. It was really bad. much, much better. That was a 13-14. And let's look at this target. Well, forgot to mark it up. That was out, that was out. These are in. All right, you can see. I don't know if I cut the line on that one or not. In. I can't remember. In, and in. So, much better. I was consciously using my red dot. Red dot on a handgun is very similar to a red dot on a rifle. To a degree. There's not as much. Height over bore is the same with a handgun as it is with a rifle, mechanical offset. So wherever you sight your handgun in, you need to know what your offset is at different distances. It's the same with a rifle. Wherever you sight your rifle in, whether it's 25, 50, or 100, you need to know what your offset is at certain distances. So I've shot red dots a lot. I've got probably 15,000, maybe 20,000 rounds through guns that are red dot equipped, but I don't work up close with little small targets like this enough. So I will probably start doing that more, because within the next year or so, I'm gonna go 100% red dot on everything. So now that you've got these closed emitters, and like I said, there's things about the 509 Holosun that I don't like, but there's things that I do like. I think the pros outweigh the cons. This is a closed emitter, so you take a lot of the negatives from the open emitter. You take that away with the closed emitter. So let's move on to another drill. This last drill I'm going to show you is something similar to what Ken Hackathorn does. I think I've seen him do something similar to this before. I've got a par time. My par time is 6 seconds. All right. I'm going to start at 3 yards. I want to shoot 5 rounds into this 3x5 card at 5 yards. Then I'm going to back up to, or at 3 yards. Then I'm going to back up to 5 rounds into the card. 7, 5 rounds into the card. 10, 5 rounds into the card. My par time stays the same. All right. I'm not trying to burn the house down up close, but I am going to have to push myself at distance. So let's see if I can perform this thing. 6 seconds. .255. Move back to 5 yards. Going to be quite a bit slower here. .321. 7 yards. .311. 10 yards. .415. 415. I don't know if you can see it. Let's show you the target. All right, threw one at 7 yards. Everything else was good, but I threw one at 7 yards. Those aren't mine, but I threw everything at 7 yards. Or I threw that one at 7 yards. Everything else was good. You can make this as hard or as easy as you want. I suggest to start shaving some time off. 6 seconds is quite a bit of time. Like on that one, I did it in 4:15. So I was almost 2 seconds shy of my par time. So you can do it from a low ready position, or you can do it from the holster. I prefer doing it from the holster. Let's go back here and we'll talk about these drills in a little more, or talk about them a little more in depth. So first of all, the gun I was using was my Glock 45 MOS. I bought this one's a new one. It's a Holosun 509T. Y'all heard me talk earlier about the hollow sun. You got two different types of red dots. You've got open emitter red dots and closed emitter red dots. This is a closed emitter red dot, which means the red dot is enclosed inside of this housing. No dirt, dust, debris, nothing can get onto the red dot, prevent it from projecting up on the screen. If you remember, if any of y'all watched my 509 video, you notice I don't like the magnification at the top of the screen. This one has magnification too, but it's not as much magnification as the other one. It's still there and it still bugs me, but in real world shooting, I don't have a problem with it at all. I actually like it a lot. But anyway, let's talk about the drills. First drill we did was the 5x5 drills, where we had the two 5-inch circles on a sheet of paper, and we drew from a holster, fired 5 rounds, reloaded, and another 5 rounds from 5 yards. That is a warm-up drill. That's something that I do when I come to the range to just warm up with. All right, I shoot it cold. I'm not trying to just go as fast as I can, just blazing speed. I just want to get those rounds off in under the set time. I shoot 2 circles at once, so I shoot 10 rounds with a reload. So the reload adds some time, so I want to be able to do it in under 10 seconds. It's pretty easy usually to get it down really close to 5 or 6 seconds, but I don't want to go all out. I want to concentrate on my fundamentals since it is a warm-up drill. Next, we went to the Bare Solutions drill. It's where you've got 5 rounds on the left, 5 rounds on the right, and then reload 3 rounds in the small circle. I love that drill. I got into a habit a while back where I was shooting it all the time. And if you shoot it a lot, you start to game it, and you can really get your times down. That drill should only be run 2, maybe 3 times in a range session. Any more than that and you start gaming it. You take some of the usefulness away from it. But that is a great drill. It teaches you to get out of your holster fast. It teaches you to get multiple rounds on target in a short period of time. Recoil control. It teaches you to transition from one target to the next. Transitions can be tricky if you're not used to doing them. A lot of times with transitions, if I'm transitioning this way, my rounds will be over that way because I don't stop my gun in time and my rounds go off to one way or the other. But it teaches you to transition. It teaches you, or it allows you to practice your reloads, and then it teaches you to slow down and concentrate on those low percentage shots. It's a really good drill. It's one of my favorite drills, and I use it in classes that or where I'm the instructor. I use it in those classes quite often because it's fun for the students, but yet it helps them with several different skills all at once. Next, I went to 1-round presentations from a holster at different distances. I would normally suggest to do that before you do the Bare Solutions drill. 1-round presentations from a holster can be frustrating sometimes. A lot of times it gets inside your head and you start pushing yourself so much you just start throwing shots. When I moved back to the 5 or the 7 yard line, it got in my head a little bit and I threw 2 shots. And the main thing is try to stay calm when you're doing it, but try to pick up the pace. Remember, if your draw stroke is smooth and you press straight out, your time's usually going to be a little bit faster. If you start getting herky-jerky and really going for it, your times are usually going to be slower and you're going to throw shots. I was herky-jerky today. I didn't make myself slow down and get those shots off. Then we went to the standards drill from Guerrilla Approach. It's had the small dots and then the large circles. That is a really good drill. Even though you shoot it at 3 yards, you would be amazed at how many proficient shooters struggle with that drill. One, when you shoot it the first time, it's like a real world reload. You don't know when your reload's coming. You can try to count the rounds, but a lot of times, especially the first time people run it, they lose count of the rounds that they fired. And that's a good thing because in the real world, you ain't counting rounds. with a red dot. It's a good drill to run in a red dot class because it teaches you that holdover of your red dot. There is holdover on your red dot when you're shooting at a dime-sized group or a dime-sized target. When you're shooting at the bigger 2-inch targets, holdover doesn't matter that much. But when you're shooting at that dime-sized target, holdover does matter if you want to hit that target. And then my 3x5 card drill that I do. It's a good drill. A lot of times I will shoot it cold. It'll be my warm-up drill, but it's a good drill to do. It, especially if you start shaving the par time down. The beginning par time is 6 seconds. You can take it down to 4 seconds if you want to, but you set the par time you want. You can set the distance you want. I do 3, 5, 7, and 10. And the reason I do 3, 5, 7, and 10 is because in the real world, most of your encounters are going to happen at 10 yards and in. Yes, there are no absolutes. Encounters can happen at 25 yards. Encounters can happen at 50 yards. But for the most part, your encounters are going to happen at 10 yards and in. You'll notice most of my defensive style drills were done from 10 yards and in because that's where you're actually going to be using your handgun. Make no mistake about it. I stretch my guns out. I take them to 25. I take them to 50. But those are on days where I'm trying to work my fundamentals and really my pure accuracy. On most days when I come to the range, I am working on my practical or real world style shooting situations or distances where I might encounter a real threat in the real world. So maybe these drills helped you out a little bit. If you got any questions about the drills, let me know. These aren't all the drills that I use, and these aren't all the drills that I use when I'm teaching classes, but these are some drills that I use. And no, I wasn't able to go over the drills in depth like I would in a real class, but I kind of just touched on it so you could see the overview of the drill and what it's meant to accomplish. Anyway, thank y'all for watching, and I hope y'all have a good one.